Welcome back to the garage here at Basin Motorsports. So in the last video concerning the PPF, I gave you guys kind of the setup to do in the Corvette, how the Corvette is positioned, how I was going to clean it, all the tools, and everything that should be done with the job. So up to this point, I have off camera done some work. I've already done the front fenders, I've already done the mirrors, and I've done the front turn signal lenses, at least the faces. And that was to get some skill down for laying down the HEXIS PPF. Now, laying down PPF is very similar to laying down vinyl wrap, but they do have some different characteristics. And going for such a big item as the hood straight away, while it seems big and flat, it seemed a little too much. So I started with the lamps, I started with the front fenders, and I just completed the mirrors. So these are the turn signals I had talked about. As you can see, they're optically clear, but they are well protected with HEXIS PPF. Front fender is done, and if I show you, you can clearly see a line. On the right hand side is the PPF cover. On the left, you can still see all the scratches in the paint. Goes all the way down, and that's what the mirror looks like. It is done nice and coated, and there is the driver's side. Now, I did do the passenger first. So all the little things I learned on the passenger side were carried over to the driver. That one is definitely the better condition. So that leaves us with two major things left. That is going to be the hood and then the front bumper. Now a hood, I think, is going to be pretty fast. And I won't say easy, but I'll say fast. Because like I said, it is a big flat piece. It's just one big sheet of PPF, but it's a lot of square footage or square inches to cover. So it'll take time to make sure I get all the air bubbles out, but I think it will go pretty fast because it is pretty flat. And I did forget to mention that I did do the headlight covers, so these are each done on each side. You can clearly see, nice. No scratches on either one, other than it's just dirty from sitting here waiting for me to finish the job. Alright, now once you have everything wet out, again, it's kind of like vinyl. You start from the center and do your best you can. Now that is leaning this way, I started more at the top and kind of got myself a center line there to work half of it across. If I was doing a vinyl wrap, of course, I'd start in the dead center and kind of work out like I was, drop a pebble in the pond, and that way it kind of ripples out. But with this, knowing that gravity was going to feed that water down, I started from the top. But once you have everything wet out, you will start to see that everything is good. Now, if you find you have some air bubbles in there, this material is still somewhat loose because of your slip solution, which is your soap and water. You can start just working stuff out. Work it out as you need to, and what you'll find is that you'll start to get towards these edges here where they don't want to stick because they still have slip solution under there, and every time you brush it out, it comes right back. So now comes the real challenge. You need to get all of this solution. You can see the remnants of it here, all the soapy solution. All of that has to come out. So you can choose to cut it if you want to. I have been using a heat gun a little bit to try and evaporate off some of this water and then start wiping it out. But take your time, make sure it all comes out, and then once you're done, you'll have a little over and then you can just trim it off, wipe it down, make sure it stays down. Use the heat gun if you want to. That's what I've been doing. It's kind of a cheat, and everything is good so far. So now's the trick. Let's get these edges done. All right, now once you have everything wet out, what you're gonna find is that you'll wrap it over the edge of the hood and you'll come out right where the base. So now I'm gonna cut at a 45-degree angle with my razor knife, and that will give me a nice crisp edge right here at the base. I'll cut it down that way, and then I can just use my finger to seal the edge. And this will be done. You'll select this done. You can see there's no bubbles in it anywhere. Nice reflective gloss. Once you cut it, it will dry and seal itself nice and tight. Okay, here is going to be your finished product. Now it probably took me a good hour just to get these edges all the way dry to where they're going to stick. Then using the razor, you get a nice even trim all the way around. Kind of give you a really good close-up edge. You really can't tell it's the PPF is there, but it is right to the bottom edge all the way around. Now when you get to these corners, you know, a wrap you can cut at angles and take this little strip out and down. On PPF, you're going to cut it at a 45 off of here, or a 90 off this corner, a 90 off of this corner, and then you're not going to take this little piece, you're going to remove it because you can only wrap straight down and wrap straight down. So you kind of leave this little edge exposed a little bit, but you can pull it down and around. Just be cautious with it. You don't have a big edge to tuck around the backside and cut off, so you just kind of do a little nip right here on the edge and then fold it down and it will stick. And remember, as you heat these up, it is plastic, so as you heat it up, don't overheat it, but you can always start in the corners. You pull this down tight here and then go down the sides versus doing the sides, then corner last. It's always corner first, then you work your way out and around the edge, and everything's good. It's all tucked in. Now I'll let this sit overnight, and in the morning, I will come out and double check that everything looks good. No edges lifted. Same thing you do with a wrap, right? You leave it overnight, kind of just let it breathe, and then you check it over. Now one thing you want to be careful of, you will find, you kind of see right there, there's a light color right there, so you can tell there's still some condensation under this, so there's probably just a little bit of just a little bit of a depression right there in the hood, and it will trap condensation. So in the morning this will most likely be gone, but you can see there's a small air bubble in there, so shame on me for leaving that, but this is definitely a much better process than I had done before. So still learning, but you know what? This baby is going to be nicely protected for time to come. Whether it's perfect or not, it is all my work. So hopefully you've watched this and think, it's not too bad. It's not that bad. I will say there's definitely some tricks, some very frustrating pieces of trying to get every last little bit of water out of there, but be patient with it, you'll get it, and hopefully this gives you an idea of how to do it. It's not that bad, trust me. You're not going to be perfect on it in the first place, so just do what you can and work your way to perfection. That's it for this time. Next is going to be the front bumper, and then the BatVette is completely ready to go, and that's it. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.